The NFL draft is now behind us, but for Dan Morgan, the job truly never ends. Somehow he's got to make all the new pieces fit. That could mean some hard decisions, and nowhere on the team is that more applicable than the offense. Mike Lissette broke it all down with Al Wallace.
Well, they did not get the dynamic tight end they were looking for, but the Panthers did get two new offensive linemen and a wide receiver. Al, question though everyone wants to know tonight is, are the Panthers a better team now than they were a week ago?
I think so. One of the major things about NFL and NFL rosters is depth. It is versatility. It's pieces that you can plug in. It is inevitable. Guys are going to get hurt, and you're going to have to plug and play people in that lineup that weren't expected in there. And I think the Panthers were able to do that with some young, talented, speedy acquisitions in this year's draft.
Well, on Saturday, you guys heard it. Dan Morgan talked about his love for competition, his love to mix in the new guys and the old guys and get them competing for jobs. How much pressure is on those new players now to come in and immediately perform? And how much pressure is on the vets now that might be looking at losing their jobs?
Yeah, I think there is minimal pressure on the vets. There are guys that are going to be at the bottom of that roster that are going to be feeling the squeeze of having a guy drafted or brought in as an undrafted free agent that's playing your same position that you want to compete with and outduel. But for those young guys, the standard is set. Just talking about the defense, because that's what I played. Defensive standard was set. So if you got drafted to the Carolina Panthers, if you were brought in, those vets set the table, and that will be the standard. J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, they're going to expect those guys to come up to speed.
So I imagine it gets kind of uncomfortable, but you're saying that's not the case. Everyone sort of understands that this is the part of it a little bit, and they sort of go along with it. Is that what you're saying?
There's a little bit of a pecking order, okay, Mike. Those guys, the veterans, they know the system, they understand the expectations, and they have a little bit of a leg up, and it's going to take a while for those rookies to come in and get their footing in the NFL. So you see that kind of happen and play itself out through OTAs and mini camps, but specifically in training camp when they get to the real part of the football season.
Now, I imagine the guy with the most pressure among the rookies is Monroe Freeling, drafted in the first round, only 17 starts. What is he in for rookie camp and OTAs? What can he expect?
Yeah, he's going to get everything thrown at him, right? How much can you absorb, and can you do that quickly? Ike Ekwonu is kind of penciled in as the starter. We know he's dealing with the injury. And then Rashad Walker from the Green Bay Packers brought in this year, a really good football player. I think one of their best pickups this offseason. He's pushing for that spot, too. So Freeling, can you be versatile? Can you play right tackle, left tackle? What can you do to get on the field? And that's what Jordan Gross did. He came in right away. He played right tackle because Todd Stussy was already our left tackle, and I think that gave him invaluable experience.
When you're in that spot as a rookie, what's the best way to get up to speed as quickly as possible?
Know what you're doing. When you walk out to that field, the quickest way to be on the coach's bad side is to not understand the assignment, right? Get in the playbook, know your assignment. You can't have mental errors when you run out on that field. You slow down practice, you slow down your development, and coaches hate it.
I think one guy that I think a lot of people are looking at is Chris Brazzell. Everyone's excited about what he can do, and one thing that they're already talking about is possibly jumping over a vet like XL. What does he have to do to get noticed and be in a position where he's taking jobs?
Yeah. Tune out the noise. Don't listen to anyone who tells you about running the route tree, being a full, well-rounded wide receiver. Be the speed guy. Just blow the top off of coverages. Do what you do best. Focus less on the weaknesses. Just tap into the strengths and go out there. And I think that's one of the things that hurt Jimmy Horn. He wanted to do too much last year. He just needs to be the speed guy. If that's the jet sweep guy, be the best jet sweep guy on the roster.
I think rookie minicamp can't get here soon enough. Yeah. Offensively speaking, Al and I are done for now. We're going to be back later in the show to talk defense. We'll see you in a bit.
In the draft class, the Carolina Panthers put an emphasis on defense.
Yeah, deservedly so from a season ago. For the 7 new players from that side of the ball. Making sense of now how it all will work out is Mike Lissette and Al Wallace joining us again.
Despite finishing near the bottom of the league, the Panthers defense still took a big step forward last year. Al, do you feel they're still trending in the right direction after the draft now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they improved so much last year because now you have bona fide studs at all 3 levels of that defense. You brought guys in free agency. Derek Brown still there. J.C. Horn, you're talking about the 2 leaders leaders, guys that stepped up a year ago that were new to the system, and now you add in a rookie like Lee Hunter, and you're expecting him to go out there and just eat up the middle of that defense. They are certainly better because they had already established that foundation. Those two guys, J.C. Horn and Derrick Brown, they're just studs on that defense.
Now, that said, I like the confidence, but we saw this a couple of years ago. A lot of times you add some new faces into the locker room, it changes the dynamic of things, and you take a step back. Why are you confident that is not going to happen again?
Yeah, Mike, when I look at this defense, I'm just thinking about Ejiro Evero, and I'm thinking about what he needed for the last, say, 5 years as far as personnel, body types, true 3-4 bodies. And I think he's closer now than ever to having that complement of guys that are true nose tackles, true 3-4 defensive ends, and now that hybrid edge rusher that you're going to see all over the field. So I think he's closer now to having that complement of guys that matches his system, and we'll see him be able to open it up and really execute his plan this year.
Of all the new rookies on defense, who do you think has the chance to make the biggest impact right off the bat?
I think it's the man in the middle. You're talking about being drafted for a specific need because of a specific skill set.
Yeah.
Lee Hunter. You put him in the middle and you tell him you own both A-gaps. You take care of the center. You allow those linebackers to roam around, make plays, and you don't have to be a pass rusher. We're not expecting you to chase things down sideline to sideline. You're still going to have Bobby Brown. You're still going to have Derrick Brown, and those guys will complement you. You just take care of the middle of the defense.
So that's exactly where you see him going to be this year in terms of his role, because there's a lot of moving parts, right? Is that the spot he's going to be in?
Yeah, I don't think you put him at a 3 technique. If there's a 4-man front, I don't know that you keep him on the field. You take him out because you have those bodies. You have a guy in Derrick Brown that can control one half of the football field. And we saw so many times last year, Mike, where they tried to run away from Derrick Brown because he's so good. Yes, put him in the middle of the field. When you have your 5-man front, that odd front, you have Lee Hunter as your nose guard. I think he does a great job. Cut on the tape at Texas Tech, and this guy was as dominant as they get.
You played defense in the NFL. You were at one point a rookie trying to adjust. What's the biggest thing that you had to adjust to, and what was the thing that you struggled with initially when you first came into the league?
Yeah, I think across the board, when you talk to guys that are coming into the NFL, it is the speed of the game. Yes, you played with guys that just got drafted. Everybody's playing the same football from the college ranks, but it is the sheer speed. You take the elite off every college program and you dump them on an NFL roster, and that game speeds up. I can just remember my first few snaps down in Jacksonville, 1997 as a rookie. Tony Baselli, they snapped the ball. They were gone. The play was gone, and my 2 feet were still stuck in the ground because the speed of the game, the reaction time just blew me away. So you got to pick up the speed pretty quickly.
You were doing a lot of this.
Yeah, where did they go?
Head on a
Yeah,
swivel
where did they
kind
go?
of
Late chase.
We were talking earlier about offensive players feeling the pressure. Do you get a sense that it's the same way on defense, or are roles a little more defined here?
Yeah, I think roles are more defined on defense because it is simple, right? You're not running routes. You're not reading coverages. You're not reading the leverage of a defensive back if you're a wide receiver or tight end. You know your responsibility. Most NFL defenses are one gap, one responsibility, and you take care of that. So on defense, it is no thinking involved. It is move when the ball moves, go hunt, take care of that one gap, that one job you're assigned, and just make plays. Don't make a mistake.
Let the fun begin. It'll be interesting to see how it unplays in the next several months. Al, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.